Ever notice how some women stay silent, composed, and distant even when everything is falling apart around them? What if I told you that when a Sigma female finally loses her patience, it's not because she lost control, it's because she chose to act only when it mattered most? Stay with me to the end to understand how her rare anger signals a turning point you don't want to ignore. But before we dive deeper, hit subscribe so you can get more insights into Sigma psychology and emotional intelligence. Let's imagine the scenario. You're in a long relationship or friendship with her, and for months she's been calm, introspective, and tolerant. She may challenge you gently or raise non-confrontational concerns, but she never explodes. You almost admire her composure. But then one day, something small happens, something you'd expect her to forgive or brush off. Instead, she snaps. And the silence afterward? It's deafening. To others, this might feel like overreaction, but for her, it was calculated. Sigma women allow long accumulation of emotional stress, then draw a line so firm it makes her invisible barrier unmistakable. What most people don't realize is that her anger rarely erupts in the moment. She doesn't respond in fury when hurt. She processes it mentally, internally, registering all the inconsistencies of respect, kindness, or alignment. Her tolerance isn't weakness, it's delayed response. She hates drama. She absorbs energy. She recalibrates. But once the decision point comes, her response isn't chaos, it's closure. A Sigma female's fury is like thunder that arrives after the storm, but you know it shook everything in between. In the days leading up to that shift, she might show subtle signs. The affectionate tone disappears, frequency of communication drops. She cancels plans without drama. She answers questions bluntly or not at all. You might think she's just having a rough period, but she's actually disengaging emotionally. Her inner world is filtering out anything that doesn't serve her peace. This silence is not emotional freezer burn. It's strategic emotional quarantine. When she finally speaks or acts, it isn't loud. It's sharp. Words are few but pointed. Boundaries become absolute. And for anyone still hoping she'll come around, it's often too late. She's backed herself into a corner where the only way forward is forward, and there's no turning back. Her final messages may feel cryptic or curt, but they carry clear meaning. I don't engage in cycles of disappointment. I won't repeat conversations that lead nowhere. Once she's assigned emotional value 0 to someone, her energy is redirected inward. Her anger isn't about punishing anyone. It's about protecting herself from further disrespect. She doesn't need theatrics for closure. She simply vanishes emotionally. With or without closure, she moves on. What lingers isn't resentment, it's relief. And that sense of release is what empowers her to rebuild stronger. A Sigma woman's anger may be rare, but it's a signal of emotional reset. She reclaims what she allowed to slip away: integrity, trust, peace. As she rebuilds, she doesn't broadcast her healing. She stays silent. Her world shrinks to only what matters. Any attention she once gave to drama, she now gives to growth. Her anger becomes fuel for transformation, not destruction. From the audience's perspective, watching this is like seeing an insulated engine shut down. It just stops, leaving everyone stunned. You'll wonder what you did wrong, but her decision wasn't about punishment. It was about preservation. Over time, her absence teaches more than her presence ever revealed. People realize they miss her authenticity, clarity, and consistency, not her conflict. Now, if you see someone you care about walking through these layers of detachment, don't try to rescue her. She's already evaluated whether you side with her principles or with her patterns. And if she decided patterns lost, behavior didn't align, trust eroded, she's already moved on mentally. Trying to justify or negotiate only delays acceptance. For Sigma females, anger is the boundary between who she was willing to invest in and who exposed her to erosion. Once that limit is breached, she recalibrates and reemerges on her own path. No reconciliation can shift that new direction because it's not about change in you. It's about evolution in her. You can't earn forgiveness by promise. You earned it when you preserved her trust. Once she withdraws it, no apology box can refill it. Her silence after crossing that line is effective emotional faucet shutoff. You'll still be around, but she won't be within your radius. And the emptiness you feel is her peace, not your punishment. She doesn't chat about the damage. She builds forward in quiet independence. She doesn't crave closure. She desires forward momentum. This pattern holds whether in relationships or work or friendships. A Sigma female tolerates disrespect or inconsistency for far longer than most. But once she sees a pattern, she doesn't fix it. She walks away because her emotional energy is finite and she guards it fiercely. When she turns cold, it's not cruelty, it's courage. So if you ever witness a Sigma female losing warmth, not with a scream, but with silence, it's your final message to reassess, because she's no longer available for your drama. She's reassigning herself entirely. She's rewriting boundaries. She's redefining integrity. Her anger is not a confession, it's a closing door. As difficult as it may feel to watch, understand this. Her emotional detachment is the highest level of self-preservation. She learned that silence often kills illusions faster than confrontation ever could. And once she's done forgiving, she turns inward, rebuilds, and never looks back. That chapter is closed, but she doesn't start shouting that it's over. She simply doesn't show up anymore, and her absence becomes louder than any apology could be. If you're watching this and wondering where a strong woman went silent, remember, she's not erasable. She's recalibrated. She won't come back just because you realized your mistake. She'll move on because truth always travels faster than regret. If you think her silence is temporary, think again. A Sigma female doesn't play games with detachment. She uses it as a shield. While others react impulsively, she withdraws to think, analyze, and protect her sense of self. In her world, distance is data. Every step back gives her a clearer view of who's really aligned with her and who was simply benefiting from her tolerance. And once she sees the truth, she won't unsee it. You won't see her post about the fallout. She won't tell her friends every detail. She doesn't need external validation to prove she was wronged. That's the thing. Her proof is internal. Her mind is sharp, observant, always measuring emotional patterns, watching how you respond when she's quiet, not when she's loud. The moment she detects a pattern of dismissal, manipulation, or emotional laziness, she checks out, even if she's still in the room. What really makes her anger so devastating isn't that she lashes out. It's that she withdraws so completely that you feel the absence like a physical weight. You might still see her around, still hear her voice, but something has gone dark. That emotional warmth she once offered freely is now guarded, rationed, or entirely gone. She's no longer trying to be understood. She's focused on being at peace. This is also why people often realize too late what they've lost. The Sigma female rarely broadcasts her worth while she's with you, but the silence after she's gone echoes everything you took for granted. The comfort of knowing she was always there, the loyalty, the strength, the calm energy, suddenly feels priceless. And by then, it usually is. She doesn't get angry often, but when she does, it's not a performance. It's a transition. She's not exploding. She's evolving.